Hello, fellow anime enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. We have some exciting news. We're shifting our focus to One Piece. And today, we've got a special analysis lined up, centered around none other than the legendary figure himself, Joyboy. So, without further delay, let's dive right in. One Piece has been captivating fans since 1997, following the journey of its protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy, and his ultimate dream of becoming the king of the pirates. However, when you take a step back and examine the story as a whole, it appears to revolve around another, much more enigmatic figure. This individual seems to have influenced or been directly connected to nearly everything, from the very concept of piracy to the formation of the world government, the cryptic Five Elders, and even Ima. Every significant event throughout this saga, spanning over 1,100 chapters, all seems to be traced back to one central figure, Joyboy. Joyboy lived 900 years ago, at the very start of the Void Century. He wasn't just any pirate, he was the first pirate. His name in the series was first introduced during the Fishman Island arc when Nico Robin deciphered the poneglyph found in the sea forest.
Joyboy って誰? 彼は一体誰に謝っているの?
However, rather than containing historical records, this particular poneglyph held something unexpected, an apology from Joyboy himself. Joyboy had once made a promise to the inhabitants of Fishman Island, vowing to bring their island to the surface. But for unknown reasons, he was unable to fulfill this promise. To explain himself, he left behind this poneglyph as a form of apology. This seemingly simple text has puzzled fans for years, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Why was Joyboy unable to keep his promise? Why did he make such a commitment in the first place? And how does all of this connect to Noah? Noah, often referred to as the Ship of Promise, is an enormous vessel dating back to the Void Century. While its exact purpose remains unclear, it is widely believed to be tied to Joyboy's promise to Fishman Island. After all, what better way to transport an entire civilization to the surface than with a massive ship? Its name, Noah, is a direct reference to the biblical story of Noah's Ark, the legendary vessel God commanded Noah to build in order to save his family and various species of animals before a great flood destroyed the world. Could this imply that Joyboy himself intended to bring destruction to the world and made a promise to Fishman Island to ensure their survival? Or does it suggest that Joyboy was aware of an impending catastrophe, a great flood that would engulf the world, and sought to save the fishmen from it? In chapter 1113, Dr. Vegapunk, the brilliant scientist secretly researching the Void Century, made a shocking revelation to the world. The planet is destined to sink. But this raises an even bigger question: what could possibly cause such a disaster? When Imu and the Five Elders ordered the total annihilation of the Lulusia Kingdom, the global sea levels rose by nearly 1 meter. This suggests that if the same destructive force were used repeatedly, it could eventually submerge the world. However, this leads to another mystery. What kind of power does the world government possess that allows them to wipe an entire kingdom off the map without leaving a trace? Initially, fans speculated that the only logical explanation was an ancient weapon. But that's not entirely the case, as the Lusia's destruction was also linked to something known as the Mother Flame. The Mother Flame was originally designed as a limitless energy source, a perpetual flame meant to revolutionize modern civilization and achieve Vegapunk's ultimate dream of free, accessible energy. However, a portion of this powerful energy source was stolen by York and delivered to the world government. That being said, the Mother Flame alone isn't capable of causing such large-scale devastation. It is, after all, merely an energy source. What we do know is that Imu instructed the Five Elders to test the Mother Flame, meaning it was used in some capacity. The only plausible explanation is that Imu and the Gorosei harnessed the Mother Flame to power something that may have existed since the Void Century. An ancient weapon. The ancient weapons are 3 legendary tools of mass destruction that date back, unsurprisingly, to the Void Century. These weapons consist of Pluton, which is believed to be buried beneath Wano, Poseidon, which we know is none other than Shirahoshi, who, quite significantly, resides on Fishman Island, and a third weapon, one that remains an enigma to this day. This raises a crucial possibility. Could Imu and the Five Elders be in possession of this unknown weapon? Did they use it to annihilate Lulusia? And if so, have they had it in their control ever since the Void Century? Another interesting point to consider is that Ima and the Gorosei frequently refer to a great cleansing. And what could serve as a more effective means of cleansing the entire world than using an ancient weapon to completely submerge it? However, Vegapunk's speech provides even more intriguing insights regarding Joyboy. He reveals that 900 years ago, Joyboy was born into a highly advanced kingdom, one so technologically superior that even Vegapunk himself, despite all his brilliance, would be unable to recreate its inventions today. Much like the legendary sun god Nika, Joyboy possessed a body that could stretch and contract, and he was known as the very first man to ever be called a pirate. Vegapunk also discloses that 900 years ago, a great war took place. Joyboy and his crew stood against 20 United Kingdoms, an alliance that would later become what we now know as the world government. However, with the defeat of Joyboy, the Void Century came to an end. And following his downfall, a catastrophic event reshaped the world. The entire planet began to sink. As a result of this calamity, the world today consists of fragmented remnants of once massive continents that existed 900 years ago. Vegapunk further clarifies that this was not a natural disaster. Instead, it was an artificial catastrophe brought about by the use of ancient weapons, powerful tools of destruction that still exist to this day. Additionally, Vegapunk highlights two other key details of great significance. First, he states that, for some unknown reason, Joyboy made an attempt to preserve the ancient weapons. However, his motivations for doing so remain a mystery. And second, he emphasizes that the entire fate of the world now hinges on whoever claims the legendary treasure known as the One Piece. After carefully analyzing Vegapunk's words, two crucial revelations stand out. He confirms that the ancient weapons existed during Joyboy's time, and that they are still present in the world today. And since we know Joyboy was ultimately defeated, it would only make sense that the victors, those who formed the world government, secured at least one of these weapons after their triumph. In addition to all this, we also know that the world was far more advanced 900 years ago, something that Vegapunk himself has confirmed. So, what if the Great War between Joyboy and the ancient kingdoms didn't result in the destruction of the ancient weapons, but rather the loss of their energy source? This would explain why no calamity of the same scale has occurred since then and why the world government has yet to carry out a great cleansing, despite the fact that the world has long been beyond their control. It's because, until now, they lack the ability to activate an ancient weapon. Only with Vegapunk's recent creation, the Mother Flame, have they been able to harness such power once again. And this isn't mere speculation. Vegapunk explicitly confirms that the Mother Flame was used to power an ancient weapon. Another crucial detail to consider is the One Piece itself. The One Piece is the treasure left behind by Joyboy, and the only way to reach it is by gathering all the road poneglyphs that Joyboy deliberately spread across the world. But the real question is, why would he do this? It almost seems as if Joyboy had foreseen his own defeat. In fact, he even stated that he would return in 800 years. On the poneglyph in Fishman Island, he apologized for failing to fulfill his promise but wrote that someone in the future would carry it out instead. We now understand that this person is none other than Luffy. Not only has Luffy awakened the same devil fruit that Joyboy once possessed, but this connection was further confirmed by Zenesha, who declared that Joyboy had returned when Luffy's devil fruit awakened during the battle in Wano. This suggests that Joyboy was well aware that his chances against 20 United Kingdoms were slim. If they had access to two of the ancient weapons, his defeat was all but certain. That's why he left behind the poneglyphs, a means for the world to continue resisting the 20 kingdoms in his absence. However, Joyboy's treasure, the One Piece, has already been discovered by the Roger pirates.